Hello and welcome back to part 3 of this quick little 3-part series on how to learn all the notes on the fretboard. This is number 3. We are going to learn all the way down to, say, the 12th fret, and then it repeats, obviously. I'm going to show you what I did. Is this perfect? I don't know, but it worked for me. Okay, so I'm just passing along my tip. This is tip number 3. What I suggest you do, down in the description, you're going to have a fretboard with all the notes on it, and they're in flats. Okay, but now you know how the difference between a sharp and a flat and why they're the way they are. You're also going to have a circle of fifths. I'm only giving you this as a guide to a way to do this, okay? For instance, on a circle of fifths, what I'm suggesting that you do is we find one note on every string. Let's say we start with an F note, and we find it on every string, starting on the bass strings and going down. When we get all the way down, let's just go around the circle of fifths and take the next note, which is C, okay, and come back with the C's, and then go down with the G's, and just go all the way around the circle of fifths of whole tones, okay? Then after you master all the whole tones, then you can work on sharps and flats in those scales, okay? But this for me was just a way, because if you just, you're gonna have to start it by walking, finding it when you don't know where it is. You're gonna have to walk up and down it. But when you're actually playing, you don't want to have to walk up and down a string to figure out where a note is. You want to be able to go right there. So that's why, we're doing it the way we're doing it. Plus, if we were just working, let's say we went down with C's and we ended up down on a C, and we said, okay, we'll come back with B's. Well, that's too bloody easy. It's just the next note, right? It's one fret down. So I'm trying to make it a little more difficult to get your brain to work, okay? So let's just say we started with F. So what I'm talking about, and we're not going to use any open strings. They're all going to be, your finger's going to be on a string. So let's say we start with F. So we're going to find an F there. We're going to find an F here. We're going to find an F here. We're going to find an F here. We're going to find an F here, and we're going to find an F here. Okay, so we went down in Fs. I use this guitar because I think you can see where the dots should be, those big white things, or where you would have dots. Okay, so you're at F. So now if we went to C, we'd have to come up here to C. And we went back with C. Here's a C. Here's a C. Here's a C. Here's a C, here's a C. Okay, coming back. Now if we went back with G's, just following, and those are 5 tones apart, coincidentally, it's nice to know that. So if we go down with G's, okay, we're going to go down with G's, G's, G's. Okay, so then if we were going to do D's, come back with D's, we start over here. D, 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 D. You get the picture, and so on. It's supposed to be a quick video here, but that is how I got started. Well, first I did it like everybody else. I counted my way up the strings to figure out where things were. But what you're trying to do is to be able to just find them without counting up the string. And now you've learned a couple of things already. In this session number 1, you already know all the notes on the first 4 frets. So that's a help. In number 2, you learn the octave shapes. So if you were trying to find, if you were working on G, for instance, you know, you already know that there's a G here and there's a G there because that's an octave shape. And you already know that if you went to this G and did this octave shape, there'd be another G. So that helps you in the process of finding. It's another way to find it. Okay? So I would do that with a guitar in my hand. And I recommend that maybe as a practice routine, commit to 15 minutes, okay? And hopefully you'll do hours of practicing, but commit to 15 minutes and then break that 15 minutes into 5-minute segments. So spend 5 minutes on learning the notes on the fretboard. Spend another 5 minutes on just being able to learn chords and smoothly change from one chord to another. And then spend 5 minutes on maybe a little song that you want to learn and play. So that's a good thing. Then what I would do too, sometimes when I was, you know, I'd be in bed ready to go to sleep, but my mind's running around and I can't fall asleep. I would say, okay, I'm gonna envision a fretboard and I'm gonna try to find all the C notes on the fretboard in my mind, you know, without a guitar. And you can do it, and that really helps. Okay, that really helps. And so I know all the notes on the fretboard. I'm still trying to internalize the notes on the fretboard, which is the next level. I mean, this is not something you're going to get in 3 lessons, okay? It takes a long time. And I go back to this all the time, and I know the notes for years now. But I want to be able to, I've seen some professional teachers that can whip through that like it's just there. They're not even thinking about it. That's what you're trying to get to. Okay, but you're going to thank me when you learn all the notes on the fretboard, when you can figure out, you know, how to play. Let's say somebody says, use the D-shaped triad, but play an A with a D-shaped triad and the roots on the B string. Well, you'll go right to it. You'll be able to do it. So trust me, you're going to like this. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in where you're supposed to. Give me a little like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. There's a couple of 100 videos on there of all kinds. So we're going to see you in the next video. Keep practicing.